We want to find the standard form of the equation for a hyperbola with a vertex at 9, -2, and then these asymptotes. So let's go ahead and plot that vertex. So over 9 and down 2, there is the vertex. Now the asymptotes, we have a transformation because if the center was at 0, 0, they would intersect at the origin, but they are moved to the right 3 and down 2. So I'm going to move to the right 3 and down 2, and this would be where the asymptotes would intersect each other. So I can now see where that's where the center of the hyperbola needs to be. So I can see some other information here. I can tell where the transverse axis is. So it goes along here in the x direction. And from the center, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the x direction. So A is 6. Let's go ahead and put the other vertex on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the negative direction. There would be my second vertex. Okay, so if I was to make a guide rectangle, this would be the ends here. And now let's put the asymptotes on the picture so they will be the diagonals of this rectangle, and we can see where the rest of the rectangle is. So as I look at this, I can see that the slope is 2/3. So from this intersection point, I'm going to go up 2 and over 1, 2, 3, but I'm not over to that line where the vertex is, so I'm going to count another up 2 and over 1, 2, 3. Now I can see that would be the corner of the rectangle because these guys are the diagonals, and so I could see that this would be the rectangle guide here. Now I could go the other direction, down 2 and over 1, 2, 3, and I need to do it a second time, down 2 and over 1, 2, 3, so that I meet the point where that vertex is, and I can see that that diagonal would come along like that. Now the -1, same thing, but down 2 and over 1, 2, 3, down 2 and over 1, 2, 3, so there would be the corner of my guide rectangle, and I could go up 2 and over 1, 2, 3, and up 2 and over 1, 2, 3, and there's the other corner. So there is my guide rectangle. There are my asymptotes that are diagonals of that rectangle. And now let's get the information we need to figure out the standard form. So we know that the center is at 3, -2. We also know the transverse axis is parallel to the x-axis, so the x squared is the positive term, and then we have the y here on the negative term equals 1. We do know where the center is, so we can fill in this is going to be opposite sign, so -3, so that the x value of the center is 3. This one's going to be +2, so the y value of the center opposite sign is -2. Now A would be how far we would go from the center over to a vertex, so I can see that A is going to be 6, and so A squared goes under the x squared, so that's going to be 36. Now I need B squared, and B is how far I would go up here for the conjugate axis, so I'd have this point and this point, so we can see that from the center that is 1, 2, 3, 4, so B is 4. Therefore, B squared is 16. And there is the equation of a parabola that has these asymptotes with that vertex at 9, -2. If we were to draw the parabola, it would go through that vertex and head towards the asymptotes.